And you're just gonna have to hold on.
Here.
Give us 1 second, please. We didn't know we were gonna have to walk across campus.
No, apologies. Tell me when you're ready and I'm start.
And behind Vina.
Okay, I'm gonna start if that's okay. Oh, nope, nope, not gonna start. Oh, sorry, I'm not supposed to look at you. My name is Vina Duval, and I am so proud to stand here before you hand in hand with my UC Union friends and fellow workers, the faculty, students, and staff who make the UC system the greatest public educational system in the world. I'm the general counsel of the American Association of University Professors. Founded in 1915, the AAUP is a professional association and labor union that has helped to shape US higher education by developing the standards and principles that maintain quality in education and academic freedom in US colleges and universities. I'm also a faculty member at the UC. I'm a UC alumna. I am a former UC graduate student instructor. I am the beneficiary of UC diversity scholarships. I am a UC patient. And in case the regents are listening, I am also a UC donor. Like many people in California, the University of California system has been a major institutional force in my life. To quote my esteemed colleague, AAUP colleague, and Ellen Strecker, historian of McCarthyism, what the US is experiencing right now is far worse than what we experienced in the 1950s. Today, the federal government is not just singling out individuals based on what they believe. They are engaged in ham-fisted attacks to destroy the entire system of higher education. We're here on this historic day on the filing of a wall-to-wall lawsuit brought by US labor unions against the Trump administration. We have sued the Trump administration to end their unlawful and unconstitutional authoritarian attacks on our members, on our system of higher education, and on our state. The University of California is the historic heart of the free speech movement. University of California students, staff, and faculty fought and even died for the civil rights laws and protections that we have today. In a nefarious twist that comes straight from the playbook of authoritarianism, those civil rights laws are now being used to dismantle the system that we know and love. Specifically, Title VI and spurious allegations of anti-Semitism are being used as a smokescreen to bend students, faculty, and staff in the UC system to the Trump administration's ideological preferences. Against the coercive threat of over $1 billion in penalties and more in funding, the Trump administration is demanding that the UC allow ICE onto our campuses and in our hospitals, end the use of considerations like class and neighborhoods in student admissions, ban gender affirming care for minors, and give unfettered government access to student, faculty, and staff data. They want the UC system to disallow overnight demonstrations and restrict protests to infringe on the First Amendment rights of faculty, students, and staff. This is not about anti-Semitism. But this lawsuit is also not just about speech and association. It is also about protecting the health of everyday Californians who get their health care in the UC system. It is about economic mobility for California families who rely on the UC educational system for uplift. It is about protecting critical debate, knowledge, and innovation. Donald Trump is attacking not just the UC system, not just our student, staff, and faculty members. He is attacking California. This tremendous coalition and this lawsuit are just the beginning. You will now hear from members and leaders of other UC unions who will describe what Trump's coercive threats are doing to their members and why we are all standing here today. The first speaker is Maggie Ming, a nurse representative at UCSS Parnassus from the California Nurses Association.
Hi, everyone. My name is Maggie Ming. I am a nurse in California Nurses Association. I have been a nurse at UCSF for 5 years, and I've been a nurse altogether for 8. I work in the ICU float pool, and I'm so proud to work for UCSF. I'm from Ohio. Working in an academic institution is really, really important to me. And working with people of all genders, all races is also really important to me. And San Francisco is such a diverse microcosm in our nation. I am here on behalf of 25,000 registered nurses across the UC medical centers who are members of California Nurses Association. We are here to say that CNA nurses are opposed to any attempts by the federal government to tell us how and when we can provide care to our patients. We are also opposed to any attempts to make our hospitals unsafe for our patients, their families, and our nurses. That's why we're proud to join with all the other UC worker unions today to sue the Trump administration and stop the Trump administration from attacking the nurse values we stand for. I think we all know that Trump has been supporting ICE in our nation, and he wants to make it so it's easier for ICE to come into our hospitals. I did not become a nurse to be the middleman between ICE and patients. I came to take care of everyone, no matter creed, religion, or race, and I think all of our nurses agree with that. We do not support increased ICE activity in our hospital, and we just want to make sure that our patients feel safe and comfortable coming to the hospital every single day. Additionally, gender affirming care is on the line if Trump follows through. San Francisco has such a large history of LGBTQ members. I think it's very, very easy to say that we're very, very accepting of everyone. And I love that. And I think that nurses are there to take care of people who are seeking gender affirming care. Gender affirming care is healthcare, and we all deserve healthcare. And lastly, we're in bargaining right now. UC is already having us in a staffing freeze. We are already noticing the strain in our hospital. If we get fined the millions or billions or however much Trump wants to fine us, the fact that we might have less research, less cutting edge medical care for our patients, the fact that we might not be able to hire the staff that is needed on the front lines is really terrifying to me and our union. And we need to come together to say no to Trump's authoritarian regime. Thank you very much.
Katie Roger, the president of UCAFT.
Good afternoon. Thanks. My name is Katie Roger, and I am the president of UCAFT, representing 7,000 librarians and contingent teaching faculty across all UC campuses. Since early spring, more than 200 members of my union have been laid off or had their workloads cut, merely in anticipation of the cuts that may come as a result of the government's extortion of the university. It is on behalf of those colleagues and for those who wait to learn what might still come that I'm here today. Along with other UC workers, This lawsuit represents UCAFT members who are in the classrooms and libraries on every UC campus, working every day in service to the UC's mission to remain the top public higher ed institution of learning. We directly serve the nearly 250,000 students in the University of California. I'm proud to represent my colleagues as I stand here with representatives from the unions and organizations representing all sectors of the UC workforce. What's happening right here, right now, is an attack on higher ed as a public good in our country. What's at stake is not just about UCLA or even the UC. The government's demands are not about research or teaching, and they're definitely not about fighting anti-Semitism. In fact, as we all know well, this government is not at all interested in stopping hate, but in sowing it among us all. The extortion of the university is part of Trump's agenda in his ongoing culture war. Limiting student scholarship opportunities, denying gender-affirming healthcare, and prohibiting campus protests are overt moves to silence and exclude citizens who are part of this public university. These attacks limit educational opportunities for the broader public and in turn further centralize power among the few. When the Trump administration came for UCLA and the University of California, it meant not just to limit the scope of research we do and the subjects we teach, but to fracture the communities that define our campuses and our workplaces. The Trump plan for higher education is a plan that tears down rather than builds. Dismantling the programs and infrastructure that support our students and us as workers is meant to alienate and divide us all. Make no mistake that part of this government's master plan is to destroy our university, much as it's working to destroy our country as we have known it. It's doing this by turning people against people. When we're reduced to scrambling for resources among ourselves, we don't stay focused on the source of our problems, which is why now that more than ever, UC workers are standing together. This lawsuit represents not only our rejection of the attacks we're facing, but an affirmation of our solidarity. Solidarity is the foundation of worker power, and we're here today to flex it together. We refuse to be divided. We can and will continue to fight back together and stand united in the face of what will come. UCAFT stands with the student workers, the healthcare workers, the service and technical workers, the staff, and the faculty who together make us the University of California. Thank you.
Next we have Ayush Midha, who is a graduate student researcher at UCSF and a member of UAW 4811.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Ayush Midha. I am an MD PhD student here at UCSF, and I'm a proud member of UAW 4811, the Union of Academic Workers across the University of California. I'm also the direct beneficiary of an NIH fellowship, and I've worked in a lab here for the last 4 years researching cardiovascular disease and metabolism. I'm so grateful to have had the opportunity to contribute to the life-saving research that happens at UCSF. And the work across the University of California, funded largely by public institutions, has advanced treatments for countless conditions like cardiovascular disease, cancer, HIV, and Alzheimer's disease. Today, all of that is under attack because the Trump administration has cut off all federal funding for biomedical research at UCLA. That means no more funding for research on cancer, research on infectious diseases, research on reproductive health. The consequences of all of this will be catastrophic. Dozens of students who aspire to be scientists will lose the ability to keep doing their training. The work of graduate student researchers and postdoctoral scholars will be interrupted. That work includes fighting against many conditions that affect our families and loved ones. It also means that new labs that are taking creative approaches to taking on and fighting these diseases, their formation will be disrupted. Ultimately, more people will die preventable deaths. And we cannot let that happen. And that's why I'm so proud to be here today, fighting alongside a massive coalition of workers from across the University of California, using our collective power and lawsuits to fight back and defend our research and our work at the University of California. I'm proud to be here with all of these workers today, encouraging the leadership of the University of California to stand alongside us and defend our work instead of capitulating to the Trump administration's demands that threaten student safety and academic freedom. Look, I know that authoritarian governments have always gone after institutions of higher education because we represent a genuine source of power in our country. And we are standing together today to use that power for good, to defend our life-saving research, and to build a research enterprise at the University of California that employs millions in well-paying jobs, that advances treatments for life-saving cures for diseases, and ensures that we can advance genuine innovations that will serve billions of people around the world. Thank you.
Anna Markowitz from UCLA, faculty and president of the Faculty Association at UCLA.
Good afternoon, and thanks all for coming out to celebrate what I think is a historic moment, although unfortunate that it had to happen, with a group of folks coming together. As we've heard from others, often these sorts of moments are moments that are designed to pull us apart, and instead I get to stand with an amazing coalition of folks that represent the beating heart of the UC. This group of nurses, librarians, projectionists, custodial staff, skilled technical workers. Gosh, we do it all over here. Nurses, doctors, students, TAs, and even faculty. This group represents a group of folks who understand the foundational potential of the University of California to be the public good for this state. And they're fighting for it every day. And this is a fight. As we know, the federal government under President Trump has engaged in an egregious attack designed not just to hamper the University of California, but to attack the entire state, both educationally and economically. At UCLA, the federal government has taken hostage nearly $600 million in federal funding for research that, as we heard, saves lives. We just had a suspended science fair at UCLA, and I got to learn about amazing research on climate, traumatic brain injuries, eye transplants, optimization of MRI machines, cancer, AIDS, the list goes on and on. But these research cuts not only affect lives in the future, they affect lives right now. Every PI that I've spoken to will immediately bring up the many, many people that it takes to do excellent work, not just the person whose name is on the grant, and the concern that they feel about those jobs. They'll bring up the communities that they work with and the medical care that they will not be providing. They'll bring up the graduate students and undergraduate students and postdocs that will lose out on their training. A research funding cut on this scale is designed to harm California's present and California's future, to harm workers, students, and the citizens who rely on the UC, both for care now and for the life-saving technology of tomorrow. What we're doing today is asserting that these cuts are nothing short of federal extortion, and that acceding to these cuts is opening the door for federal overreach into our system. It is to lose what it is that the UC is. The UCLA Faculty Association is here today to represent our many PIs and members who understand that capitulation to these demands would be worse than the current devastation of these cuts. So we stand in solidarity with our union colleagues. We stand with trans students and all Californians who are receiving gender-affirming care. We stand for UC independence in hiring and admissions, for our amazing students who receive diversity scholarships, for free speech, for international students, and for the right of our immigrant students and coworkers to work without fear of harassment. We will not accept the UC becoming a place where the federal government gets to decide a student's gender identity. We will not accept becoming the UC where the federal government decides what opinions our students can take. And we won't accept federal politics and federal grandstanding resulting in lost UC jobs. We've been asked time and time again by the regents, by our president, to stand up for the UC. Well, this is it. This is standing up for the UC. We're doing it today, and we're here to fight back. Thank you.
Charmaine Schwa, faculty at UC Berkeley and co-president of the Council of UC Faculty Associations.
Hi, everyone. My name is Charmaine Schwa. I'm acting associate professor of geography at UC Berkeley, and unfortunately not the co-president of the Council of UC Faculty Associations, but I am the chair of campus organizing at the Council of Faculty Associations. And on behalf of the 10 faculty associations on every UC campus, Davis, Irvine, UCLA, Merced, Riverside, San Diego, San Francisco, Santa Barbara, Santa Cruz, and UC Berkeley, I'm here today to say, Trump, if you want to come for the UC, if you want to come for public higher education, you have to go through all of us. Let's be really clear. When Trump attacks the UC, he is attacking not just faculty and not just the federal funding that we receive, but he is also attacking California's third largest employer with spending and activities that support more than 500,000 jobs across California. He is attacking a center of cutting-edge innovation that produces an average of 5 inventions every day, that powers California's high-tech sector, biotech breakthroughs, climate solutions, and medical advancements. Trump is attacking an economic engine that produces $21 in economic output for every $1 of investment in the UC. So I'm here today on behalf of 14,000 Senate faculty as CUCFA, who have not been able to do this life-saving and groundbreaking work. We are professors because we love research and teaching. We find pride and joy in making sense of the world and working with communities. We find pride and joy in building groundbreaking innovations that help underserved communities. I don't build groundbreaking innovations, but my colleagues in STEM do. We also want to be able to draw and to teach with the freedom to draw from established scholarly consensus. As a green card holder and an immigrant to the US, I am afraid to teach about the genocide in Palestine. And all of this is happening because Trump is preventing us from having the freedom to teach, to learn, and to research in the ways that we are committed to in public education. But let's make no mistake that what is at stake today is not just research grant funding for UCLA or the future of federal funding for the UC system, but California's political autonomy and public higher education across the US. Trump's assault is a clear attack not only on public higher education, but also on the most progressive state in the country. Let's not forget that California has led the way on many progressive fronts. It was the first state to legally end school segregation. Trump is now trying to resegregate the public university. The UC educates more first-generation and lower-income students than any other major research university system in the country. And Trump is trying to discontinue scholarships that support economic mobility and lift families out of poverty. California has led the charge in providing quality access to gender-affirming care and becoming a sanctuary state for transgender individuals. Trump is trying to end access to that life-saving care and medication. So the UC is a cornerstone, but it is also in the first front of an attack that will continue if we don't stand up to it. But make no mistake, if California is what it is, and if the UC is what it is because we are the UC, and the UC is all of us. Every groundbreaking innovation, every life-saving medication invented, every life saved by a nurse who noticed somebody's pain, every spark a lecturer lit in a young UC student, every garden beautifully tended, every lesson about building a better democratic society, all of these have been made through the hard work, the brilliance, the creativity, the sweat, and the care of UC workers. CUCFA is honored to be a part of a labor coalition that is working in solidarity to fight this attack on our jobs, on our economy, our freedoms to learn, to teach, to do research, to attack the American university and our core values. And so we today as faculty in the UC are so honored and so proud to join our union siblings in this fight. Our collective ability to file this lawsuit, to stand up to the challenge of the Trump administration is only possible because of the power of UC unions who have organized for decades to gain the bargaining power that they have today. These unions have won countless contracts bettering the lives of Californian workers, and they're doing that at this very moment, and who are now using their collective power to defend a fundamental public good, public higher education by the people and for the people. So if we don't stand up to Trump, no one will. Together as CUCFA with our union siblings, we urge President Milliken and the regents to exhaust all available resources to resist the Trump administration's extortion, protect public higher education, the life-giving research and teaching that we do, and the public values for public good that undergird the UC's excellence. We are the UC, say it with me. We are the UC. The UC is us. UC is us. And if you come for the UC, you go through us. Thank you.
Jason Rabinowitz from the Teamsters from Halt 2010.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jason Rabinowitz. I'm Secretary Treasurer, Principal Officer of Teamsters Local 2010, proudly representing more than 25,000 workers in California education, including more than 20,000 workers at UC. Our work makes UC work every day. Our members are clerical workers, administrative workers, skilled trades workers who keep the university running every single day. We are very proud as Teamsters Local 2010 to stand in unity with all of our sister unions, representing collectively over 100,000 workers at University of California, standing together to stand up to the Trump administration and its attacks on our members, on working people, and on our freedoms. Make no mistake, these attacks on the University of California threaten every single job and the livelihood of every single worker that we represent at the University of California. The Trump administration has slashed funding for critical research, and those funds fund our jobs, but they also fund the critical research that saves lives, that cures disease, that makes progress for our whole society. Now they're coming with these lawsuits which are frivolous and which are aimed at attacking the very idea of higher education, the very idea of public education, but also these lawsuits are a direct attack on our members' jobs, our members' livelihood, our members' ability to earn a living, and our members' freedom on the campuses, and our freedom to join together in union and to speak out, which is what we do in our union. So they're trying to extract and extort $1.2 billion from the university. And by the way, $1.2 billion would pay for the entire payroll for all of our members for an entire year. And our members know very, very well, if they're successful in extorting this money from the university, whose hide they're going to try to take that out of. And we are not going to let that happen. Now, we are about to go into bargaining for almost all of our members. In fact, we had the first day of bargaining today for our, got a great team in place. And we had our first day of bargaining for our largest bargaining unit, clerical and administrative workers. And we're fighting for, in this environment of cost of living going up and housing and everything else, for fair pay increases for our members. We're fighting to save our medical care from attack, and we're fighting for our rights at work. These attacks by the administration are going to undermine, if they're successful, everything that we're trying to do for working people in our union. And we are not going to allow that to happen. The attacks are also attacks on our rights, our fundamental rights as workers, our fundamental rights as unionists. When they talk about limiting our free speech, limiting our right to, what they say, overnight demonstrations, who do you think is demonstrating overnight? It's our members when they're on strike, which has happened before. We've been, we picket all night long. We're at the construction sites early in the morning. We're at the hospitals late at night, getting our message across, exercising our fundamental constitutional right to picket, exercising our fundamental right under labor law as working people to speak out, to fight for our jobs, for our livelihood, for our rights at work. These attacks, these lawsuits are a direct attack on our rights as working people. So I say to you today, as Principal Officer of Teamsters Local 2010, that our union will always stand up. We will always fight for our members' jobs, for our members' livelihood, for the rights of our members as workers, and for the rights of all working people. We are very proud to stand in unity, to stand shoulder to shoulder with all our sister unions in this fight. And on behalf of Teamsters Local 2010, we will not stop fighting. We will not back down until this battle is won. Thank you.
Next we have Catherine Weigarter from AFSCME.
AFSCME 3299 represents 40,000 UC service and patient care workers. We're custodians, gardeners, and food service workers. We're the technicians who answer the call button when you're in the hospital or when your grandmother's in a hospital bed. We are the operating room assistants, respiratory therapists, MRI technologists, phlebotomists, and more, who, along with all of our siblings, make UC run day in and day out. We're mostly women, immigrants, people of color. We don't make a lot of money, but we are determined to build careers of service to the communities and to the state that we love. Right now, we have members who are afraid to go to work. They're not afraid of COVID or the flu or even the lax gun laws that make every place in America less safe. In fact, we're in the hospital because of those things, and they've called us heroes. We're afraid because the color of their skin, the country they were born in, or the sound of their last name makes them a target, as does Trump's demand to invade UC hospitals and campuses with armed federal agents. Last week was a tragic week for universities and for our country. We condemn all forms of political violence and embrace the inclusivity, the progress, and the pursuit of knowledge that comes from things like peaceful protest, diversity, and a willingness to debate others in the public square. Trump's efforts to intimidate and extort universities, to silence speech, intimidate workers and students, and exclude entire communities are a direct attack on these very principles. They only serve to limit debate, expression, opportunity, and innovation, and to amplify the forces of fear and uncertainty that bring more violence. This will not happen on our watch, Mr. President. That is why we will not comply, we will not capitulate, and we'll see you in court.
Executive VP of UpD 9119.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Matias Campos. I am a pharmacist and assistant clinical professor here at UC San Francisco, where I've been proudly working for the last 9 years. And I'm proud to be here today with our union siblings in a really broad coalition, I think over 100,000 workers at the UC, to announce this historic lawsuit. The Trump administration has moved to terminate almost $600 million in federal research grants to UCLA and further threatened to terminate all federal funding from the entire UC system. Nearly $17 billion, that's with a B, every year. That threat comes along with extracting demands that require the UC to modify policies and practices over which the federal government has no legitimate basis to exercise authority or control. Those impacts will be felt in every laboratory, every hospital, every classroom, and every work site where UpD members serve Californians. This administration's shameful attack on the University of California will be devastating for us all, patients, students, and workers alike. It will be devastating for the world-changing research that is conducted every day across UC's laboratories. It will be felt by everyone who steps foot into our hospitals in their most vulnerable moments of illness. It will mean shortchanging the students who have worked so hard for the opportunity to study and shape their futures in our classrooms. We must call this what it is: extortion, plain and simple. It is yet another cynical ploy by Donald Trump to use public dollars and the federal government to hold public institutions like us hostage to the whims of his administration, and it runs counter to our values as Californians. This is not about civil rights. It is about punishing dissent and stifling speech. It is designed to discourage us all from speaking up for one another and to coerce the UC into action it would not otherwise take. It is an attack on the very foundations of our university in its pursuit of public education, public research, and public health care. Our union went on strike in February over the university's attempts to squash our rights to protest on our campuses, and we stand ready to strike again. At the same time, we urge the university to reverse course and take a courageous stance. California prides itself on leading the nation with an alternative vision to that of Donald Trump and his billionaire friends. As one of our most consequential public institutions, UC cannot abandon this responsibility. This lawsuit is about defending the very future of public education, healthcare, and research in California. It's about ensuring our public institutions are free from the overreach of those who would seek to tear down the life-saving and world-changing work that happens in the hospitals, labs, and classrooms of the University of California. It's about standing up for our patients, our students, our research, and our communities. And on behalf of UPD's 20,000 workers, we stand ready to defend that work that we do every day. We won't back down, and we ask the regents who are meeting right now, will they stand with us?
That was our last speaker, and we look forward to answering any press questions that you may have. But before I disband our amazing coalition here, I want to make two final points that you heard in everyone's talk today. One, the demands that Donald Trump is making of the University of California system are fundamentally not about anti-Semitism as he claims. Two, everyone here today, all of our faculty, staff, and students, we care about each other. We care about this institution. We have been fighting anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, racism of all forms, xenophobia, anti-trans politics, anti-queer politics. We have been fighting all of these things on our campuses and our communities. Donald Trump hasn't been. What he's trying to do, as you've heard today, is not just an attack on the institution, and it's an attack on all of us. And so we're gonna end with three chants. 3 times, UC is us. UC is us. UC is us. UC is us. Thank you.
That was so good.
I know you.
In person.